African-inspired designs are now a staple of catwalks around the world, and international celebrities love them. Sartorially speaking, what happened this year on the continent? Here, a brief overview of the major fashion events that took place in Africa in 2012. First, South Africa. Automobile giant Mercedes-Benz, which sponsors fashion weeks around the world, also backed the first edition of Fashion Week Africa in Johannesburg. Such events have boosted the country's textile industry by creating a local market for African fashion.
I love the print, I love the contrast of print on print. I think that for me is just beautiful. The fact that we're embracing African fashion a lot more. I think I've been seeing a lot more of it on the streets as well, and I think it's a trend that I'm going to be following as well.
With marketing and enough exposure, contracts with retail chains in Europe and the United States could bring South Africa more than $1 million USD per year. The only downside remains the cost of textile imports.
There are a lot of international buyers that are interested in buying, and there are a lot of designers that are at this point in time exporting. But we need a lot of import when it comes to our local design. We do not have fabric, we do not manufacture fabric, we do not design textiles, and whatever we have in this country gets exported.
Dakar Fashion Week 2012 in Senegal was also much talked about. Nigerian designer Al Fadi, also known as the Magician of the Desert, presented his new collection. With traditional African fabrics in bright colors, cut in more modern shapes, it paid tribute to Mali, his homeland.
We can't choose fashion and choose creation and give a chance to Africa and accept today what's happening in Mali. I myself am from Timbuktu, and I'm obligated to pay tribute to Mali with its creativity, bazin fabric, dyes and dyers. And that's why I paid homage to Malians by showing that Mali is one and indivisible.
Nigeria, for its part, hosted Lagos Fashion and Design Week, which was covered by the New York Times. The capital was also the setting for Arise magazine Fashion Week. One of Africa's big fashion events of the year, it attracted more than 77 designers from 6 continents.
I think Nigeria as a country has an important role to play in fashion. And I think Lagos has real potential. I mean, we all know the wealth of Nigeria, and we all know the population. So it definitely has a place of being an important country in the world. So it's just a question of time, and it's good to be here early.
Over in East Africa, Ethiopia to be exact, 33 designers came from all over the continent, notably Zimbabwe, Angola, South Africa, and Côte d'Ivoire, to show their latest collections at the hub of African Fashion Week. This year, designers were asked to present eco-friendly styles. The event was part of Origin Africa, an apparel and home trade expo. Buyers and international business leaders came from more than 20 countries. Such events are critical for pushing African fashion trends to a global level by allowing designers to show their unique expertise and gain experience.
Of course, it brings more confidence, more creativity. It makes somebody have that mentality and the ability of, I can do it, I have what it takes. Because before somebody is exposed, they kind of tend to think, they don't know what is out there.
Also in 2012, the youngest nation in the world, South Sudan, took part for the very first time in Miss World. Atong Dimash, 23 years old, represented the country.
It feels fantastic because, it was the first time for South Sudan at Miss World, and to be honest, people know much about South Sudan as a history of war. So I'm so glad that I took a part of Miss World. Now they know that South Sudan is much more than just a history of war, but it also has intelligent, beautiful youths that are working to bring change to their community.
Many feel that top models from South Sudan who find success abroad, like UK-based Alec Weck, should give back to the nation and create opportunities for its people.
Despite the war, we have been good at so many things. We have our top models in so many different fields. And what I would argue them is, these girls who have been in these careers, they need to come back home, establish something.
The year 2012 was rich in fashion events, which allowed many African designers to showcase their talents that reflect a confident and creative Africa. The professionalization of catwalks here is happily welcomed by both those on the continent and beyond. The world will certainly be turned toward Africa in 2013 to see even more local ingenuity, boldness, and skill.